Hello team, welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video with myself, Jonathan MS Pearce. This is a Ukraine War update extra. I'm going to just show you a very short video and talk briefly about the challenges for the Ukrainian forces on the front line. Not only do they struggle in recruiting and getting boots on the ground in these key places, they are trying to substitute humans for drones and so have these drone corridors, but you still need boots on the ground to defend against these attacks from the Russians. But the Russians also have the advantage of being able to throw huge numbers of what are sometimes very explosive ordnance at the Ukrainians. Some claims that they at times are sending 270 of these sorts of bombs, these guided glide bombs, at the Ukrainians on a daily basis. And I'm going to show you a video of Myrnohrad just to the right of Pearce, both cities under immense pressure. The Ukrainians having to deal with an onslaught, consistent onslaught of Russian personnel, but also having to deal with these huge bombs. So let's look at this particular video. This is an FAB-3000 or an FAB-1500. So sometimes, you know, this denotes the size of the explosives. Sometimes one variety is claimed and it's actually a different one, but whichever designation this is, it causes a massive explosion, just simply staggering. And the challenge for the Ukrainians is, you know, how do you deal with this on a daily basis when you're trying to defend against these Russian attacks? Like, this building appears to have been completely obliterated by the bomb. Like, how do you defend against this? Anyway, let's just see the effect of the use of these guided glide bombs. So here we have Myrnohrad. Interesting, actually. You can see the wings on the bomb here. Just, yeah. It's interesting. Some pretty large wings. Anyway, let's let that play. See the shock waves that go out afterwards. What a huge bomb. Here's another one here. So several hitting. So one, that first might be in 1500. This might be in a 3000. The sheer destructive force of these. There's another one coming in. Just entirely destroying buildings. If you're able to attack consistently with just huge numbers of these guided glide bombs, the Ukrainians really have very little chance to successfully defend these cities. And that's what happened in Avdiivka, is that the Russians used these guided glide bombs so frequently, so with such devastating impact, that the Ukrainians kind of capitulated rather quickly there. And ever since that moment, the Russians have been using these because they know they work. So the Ukrainians really have to, I mean, the sticking plaster is come up with a solution that shoots these things down. But really, you need to be blowing up the factories that build these. But they're relatively easy to build. They're not super expensive. I would say they really need to work hard on destroying air bases where these planes are taking off. So you either, like I've talked to you before, the chain, you either take out the manufacturing of the bombs, you take out the storage of the bombs, you take out the planes that fly the bombs, and the final option is you take out the bombs as they're in midair, you intercept them. And they are evidently working on all of those options, no doubt. But I think airfields need to be absolutely hammered, because these guided glide bombs are too much. Russian-style liberation, says Wall Translated, footage shows strikes by Russian terrorists using FAB-3000, FAB-1500 bombs on residential apartment buildings in Myrnohrad, in Donetsk. The city is simply being wiped out. They no longer even distinguish between targets. Just throw them into the city and hope for the best. Like, how do you defend against that? It's so difficult because you want to have the advantage of being in a high-rise building. That line of sight that you get over the enemy. Drone use from high up means that you have more likely uninterrupted feed to your drone, But you know, who would want to be at the top of a high-rise building in Myrnohrad if that's the kind of rain that you're getting? It's raining down heavy ordnance. Anyway, it is not easy for the Ukrainians. I'm going to talk about that in Hitler's video. Pokrovsk and Myrnohrad, Zaporizhia as well. These are really, really difficult areas at the moment. And I think, you know, we are getting to a point where both sides are feeling incredible pressure in somewhat different ways. I'll have a short discussion about that in the upcoming video. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, and share. I'd really appreciate that. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. Take care, and I will speak to you soon.